All right, what's going on, Dolphins fans? Literally just finished a recording talking about Miami Dolphins moving on from yesterday's loss and what that means. And I checked my phone, and the news has been officially confirmed that Bradley Chubb has in fact torn his ACL, meaning his season is done. And not just this season, but beyond into next year. He's going to miss a lot of next season as he rehabs from the ACL injury. And a massive loss to the Miami Dolphins defensive line. Obviously, we know that we lost Jalen Phillips earlier on in the season against the Jets with that torn Achilles. That was done the day after Thanksgiving, then the day before New Year's Day, New Year's Eve. Bradley Chubb ACL injury. He is done for the season, and that leaves the defensive line on the edges. That's left with Andrew Van Ginkel, who has really stepped up this year, even in his third string role. He is now asked to be the number one edge rusher for this team. Emmanuel Ogba, who yesterday was a healthy scratch and was very unhappy about it. And then you have Melvin Ingram, who we brought back to the team after having a all right season last year. And maybe even bring JPP back or some other edge rusher, as this team is down to its last three guys, and one of them being a guy that we just brought back to the practice squad. Obviously, the first thing you can think about is why was he in the game at that point in the first place? 49 to 19, 30-point deficit, I think it was when he got hurt. 3 minutes left to go in the game. I said 2 drives ago on offense that Tyreek and Tua should have been taken out of the game because it was far and away done with. And then you leave Bradley Chubb in the game just for him to injure himself and be out for the season. It makes no sense. It's so irresponsible. I didn't want to look at yesterday's game as the end of the world, and it's certainly not the end of the world. But I didn't really care about the result as much because I went into that game expecting us to lose. I said in the prediction that we were going to win, but I didn't truly believe that we were going to win. That was like probably the one time that I've actually lied to you guys, because I didn't actually think we were going to win that game when I made that prediction saying that we were going to win. But I was okay with losing to the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah, it sucks to get blown out and it's demoralizing. It's on a holiday, so you want to be happy, and you go out and see your team lose by 37 points or whatever it was, and that sucks. But there's worse things than losing to easily the best team in football, who just destroyed the Niners on the road, and then you get destroyed by them. You kind of just tip your cap and you move on, and you plan for next week against the Bills. And we already got so many issues with injuries. You already had Jalen Waddle, who missed last game. Xavier Howard, he was carted off. Still do not know his status for this upcoming game. Don't know the severity of his injury, but he got carted off, had his shoe off when he was getting carted off. So I can't imagine it's anything good. You have plenty of guys that have missed a lot of time so far this season. You have Teron Armstead, obviously, who missed a lot of games. Isaiah Wynn, we're still not up to our full allotment of offensive linemen. It doesn't look like he's coming back. You look at Raheem Mostert, who missed last week. There's just been injuries all up and down this Miami Dolphins roster, and you look at the NFL right now, and everybody's missing a guy. Whether it's their number two receiver, their starting right guard, whether it's their starting safety, like the Ravens were out Kyle Hamilton yesterday. There's injuries all over this league, so it's not something that's just conducive to the Miami Dolphins, but it certainly affects the way we play, and the ability to go out and put your best team forward on any given Sunday is massive to win this league, and massive when you have a very important slate of games coming up here this week, with the Buffalo Bills obviously being the AFC East Championship. Winner goes on, wins the division, gets that home playoff game, likely going to be playing either the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Houston Texans, whoever ends up being Indianapolis Colts, versus going on the road to what's likely to be Kansas City. I think if they since they won the division yesterday, I think they're locked into that 3 seed. I don't think they can move up or move down. So likelihood is we will be going to Kansas City if we do not win this game, and then beyond, the winner go home for the remainder of the season. The playoff nature that if every game after this Buffalo Bills game, like I just mentioned, going to Kansas City. If you are lucky enough to win at Kansas City, or you win against the Steelers at home, you're greeted with probably either the Baltimore Ravens if you get that road game, or whoever else. This is not a time to break that down. But it's that part of the season where you want your best players available. And yes, not everybody has their best players available, but it still sucks. You're still not going to be able to play your best football. You're now, again, you're relying on Andrew Van Ginkel, who has really stepped up so far this season, but you still like another complimentary piece. And the other two guys are Melvin Ingram, who you just brought back to the practice squad, elevated him the last 2 games. He's probably surely going to be brought up to the active roster with this news breaking. And then Emmanuel Ogba, who was clearly very displeased with not playing yesterday. They're going to play serious minutes. You might try to find another guy on the streets to bring back in. Maybe bring back in Jason Pierre-Paul, bring in somebody. But it's a very sad day for the Dolphins coming off that loss, and then further news that we're going to be without edge rusher Bradley Chubb for the remainder of this season and far into next year. This is a season that the Dolphins have Super Bowl hopes, so you don't really care about what goes on next year, but it is reality of the situation that we're going to be without our two best edge rushers, one of the best edge rush pairings in the entire NFL, not just for the rest of the season, but far into next year with Jalen Phillips with his Achilles and Bradley Chubb now with his ACL. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments of this injury, how impactful it is on the team. What were your thoughts on yesterday's loss to the Baltimore Ravens? It was obviously not as fun. I think the injuries were a lot worse than the actual result, as might be down our number 2 corner and our number 1 edge rusher for the remainder of the season. Let me know what you think down below. Please hit that subscribe button. We're getting really close to 1,000 subscribers at the time of recording, 3 subs away from 1,000. We appreciate all the support on the channel so far up to this point, and especially recently around the holiday season. There's been a bunch of y'all coming into the channel for the first time. I see the comments are really active. Y'all interacting with each other, both with each other, and then a bunch of Ravens fans coming in. Hey, look, we welcome it. This is a place to talk. This is a fan channel. We're just as much fans as y'all are. So we appreciate y'all hanging out with us every time we put out a video. So it would mean a lot if y'all did hit that subscribe button, getting 3 away from 1,000. So really appreciate all the support on the videos. One of the happier times, I guess, right now being a Dolphins fan is how this channel is doing. So appreciate y'all very much for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below. Like, subscribe. Thank y'all for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Take care, everybody.